Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. This is Ajilam here. Thank you so much for coming around. Thank you so much for the love and support so far. I really appreciate you all. And if this is your first time of coming across my channel, please subscribe and turn on the bell icon so that you get to know anytime I put up a new video. So for today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to draft a princess cut bodice for a baby girl. So if you're interested, keep on watching. Cutting out a princess cut bodice, I'll start by measuring out the basic measurements. So the bodice length is 13 inches, 13 plus 1, which is for the seam, is 14 inches. So I'll just mark that out and I'll connect it to a straight line. Okay, so this is 14 inches. So I'll connect this now to a straight line. This measurement is for an 8-year-old baby girl. Okay, but no matter the age you're working for, you can actually use this to get what you really want. So the shoulder measurement is 13 inches. So 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. So this is 6.5 here. Okay, I'll come down by ½ inch, which is the shoulder slope. Okay, so for the neck width, I'll use 3 inches. Okay, and the neck depth, I'll use the same 3 inches. Okay, so I'll just connect the points. I'll connect this point to this point here. Okay, and I'll use my French curve to connect the neckline. Okay, so now for the armhole, like I will always say, the easy way of getting your armhole is the shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 6.5. Since I have half here already, I'll just mark out 6 inches. Okay, this is really optional, but this is just the way I go about mine. So this is 6.5, which is the half of the shoulder measurement. I'll mark that and I'll connect to a straight line. Okay, so now this is the chest line. Okay, so I will check what I have here. This is 6 and half of that is 3. So this is 3. So I will go in by 3/4 inch, which is this point here. So now the chest measurement is 30. So 30 divided by 4 is 7.5. So this is 7.5 there. Okay, plus 1 inch for my seam, which is here. So I'm going to connect that. Okay, so I'll connect it. So the waist measurement is 28 inches. 28 divided by 4 is 7. Okay, plus 1 inch for my seam, that is 8. So I'll connect it. So this is the basic measurement. If you have been following my tutorials, you should be familiar with this by now. Okay, so now this is the basic measurement. For the princess that, remember, I am using the same method you normally use when making for an adult. So now I will start from the chest. From the shoulder to the chest point is 7.25. So this is 7.25. Remember, I always say that from this point, if you come down ½ inch, that is just the chest point. Okay, so this is 7.25 here, and the under the chest measurement is 9 inches. Okay, this is for a little girl. Okay, though she's a bit chubby, so I'll just mark those out and I'll connect it to a straight line. Okay, so this is the chest point, and this is the under the chest. Okay, so now the next thing is the nipple point. For the honor of this dress is 6.5. So 6.5 into 2 is 3.25. Okay, but I'll be adding another quarter to it for sewing, making it 3.5. So this is 3.5 here. Okay, I'm going to mark that to the waist area. Okay, so this is it. This is 3.5 here. Okay, I'm going to connect that point to a straight line like this. Like I said, this is my own way of going about this. Okay, you can always find the way that you're comfortable with. So now the next thing, I will check what I have here. Okay, from that point to the actual, this is the actual chest measurement, that is 7.25. So half of that is 3. And the best way of going about this is 7.25. I'll just fold my tape to give me the point. So this is the point there, so I'm going to trace it to check where it falls. So this is where it falls, that is the point, half of 7.25. So that is the point there. I'm going to come down by ½ inch, okay, from that point, which is here now. Then I'll connect that point to this point here. Okay, so this is the point, that is the point there. Okay, so now for this area, I will just mark out what I'll be using is just ½ inch on both sides. Okay, so this is ½ inch here, this is ½ inch here. Okay, I will just connect it to this point. So for this under the chest, I will also mark out ½ inch. Okay, my marker is disturbing. So this is ½ inch there. I'm going to connect, okay, like this. Okay, and I'll connect it back to that bust chest point there. Okay, it's so easy to do, to draft. As you can see, it's very easy to do. So now remember, I used ½ inch on both sides, that is 1 inch. I'm going to add the 1 inch here. Remember, I've added my seam already on the chest and the waist area, so I'll just include 1 inch, which is for this dart. So this is the 1 inch here. Okay, and then I'll connect that to a straight line like this. Okay, so that is the new line. Then here I will go up, here I'll go up by 3/4 inch. Reason being that by the time I finish, if I finish cutting, then when I'm joining the dress, if you don't add extra, your fabric will be short. I don't know if you understand. It will not reach, one will be longer than the other. So I'll add 3/4 inch from this point upward like this. Okay, and then I'll connect it. By so doing, when you join your fabric, everything will be equal. Okay, so now that is the point there. So I'm going to connect it like this, and that is it. Very easy and simple to draft. This is how to make a princess dart bodice for a baby girl. So I'm going to cut it out now, and I will show you how to cut the back side. So this is it after cutting it out. This is the front, and this is, as you can see, it's very easy to draft. Okay, when sewing, you make sure that you start from this down side. So let me show you how to cut the back side. So for the back pattern, remember the bodice length is 13 inches plus 1 inch for seam. That is 14 inches. So this is 14 inches there. I'm going to connect that to a straight line. So this is 14 inches. Okay. I'll connect it to a straight line. Then I'll remove 1 inch for zipper allowance. Okay. So this is 1 inch. And then I'll connect it to a straight line. So the next thing now is the shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement is excuse me, is 13 inches. Half of that is 6.5. So this is the 6.5. I'll come down by ½ inch for the shoulder slope. Remember, I used 3 inches for the neck width. So this is it. I'll now connect that to a straight line like this. Okay, and the armhole, I used 6 inches from this point. Okay, so this is 6 inches. I'll now insert the shoulder measurement, half of that, which is 6.5. So I'll connect to a straight line. Okay, so if you want to add a sleeve, you just connect, you just use your French curve and connect directly like this. Okay, but if you don't want to add a sleeve, you can use the same thing I did on the front side to make this. So because I will not be adding a sleeve, so I will repeat what I did on the front side. Okay, so this is 6, half of that is 3. Okay, and I'll come in by 3/4 inch, which is here. Then the chest measurement is 7.5. That is 30 divided by 4. Then 1 inch for my seam allowance. So I'll connect the points. This is really optional. It's up to you how you want the back side of the dress to look. Okay, for me this is very okay. So the waist measurement is 28 inches. 28 divided by 4 is 7. So this is 7 plus 1 inch for my seam. So I'll connect that point. Okay, so now on this waist area, remember I will come up by ½ inch. Okay, so that by the time you join the front and the back, one will not be longer than the other. Okay, so I'll just use this to connect it back to that point there. Okay, so this is it. Now for the neck, depth, I'll be using ½ inch. Okay, because I want the neck to be very high. So I'll just connect it. Okay, so now as you can see, this is the basic how to draft the back side if you're making a simple ball dress. Okay, so now remember this, I'm going to add princess to this. I'm going to add a princess cut to this. So remember what I did from the front, for the front side. I used, that is the chest point, I used 7¼ which is here. Okay, so this is the point here. Then for the nipple point I used 3½ because of sewing. So this is 3½ here. Remember, this is the point. So I also used, remember when I measured this to the chest area, it gave me 7¼ and I folded my tape like this to determine the midpoint. Okay, so that is the midpoint there, which is here, and I came down by ½ inch. Okay, so this is ½ inch. So I'm going to connect that straight to this chest point. Let me connect this to a straight line to avoid confusion. Okay, so now this is the chest point. Okay, so now I'm going to connect that point to this point here. Okay, so now here I'm going to mark out the same 3½ here. Okay, and I'll just connect it. I'm just repeating what I did on the front pattern. Okay, so this is it. Here I just added, remember, I just added 3/4, so that by the time you join, everything will be the same. One will not be longer than the other. Okay, so now remember, here I'll be using ½ inch for my seam. That is for the dart seam. I'll use ½ inch. So I'm going to connect this straight to that point there. Okay, it's just as simple as that. So now here I will just connect this back to this place, but before that I'll add this 1 inch. Remember, this is half on both sides, so making it 1 inch. So I'm going to add that 1 inch on this other side. Okay, so this is 1 inch. Then I'll connect that. Okay, so this is how easy and simple it is. So I'm going to put, this is now the new this is now the new line. Okay, here I will just, as I'm cutting, I will just remove this sharp edge there. Okay, this is it. Okay, you can just easily remove that. Okay, so now you can also do the same on the front pattern. So this is how to draft the back pattern. That is a princess cut back pattern. If you want to have a deep neck, you can decide how wide or deep you want it to. It's up to you. So this is just the simple way of going about this. So guys, that is it for today. I believe you were able to grab 1 or 2 things from today's tutorial. So please subscribe if you have not, and I will see you guys on the next one.